Hey friends, Tony here. Finally, after several months from my last video. Yeah, the last several months, what has it been? I can't even remember how long it's been. It's been a while. Yeah, as the title suggests, it is true. I quit van life. In fact, I don't know if you could tell, but there's a change here. I no longer have the van. I'm in a truck. I bought a used Ram 2020 Rebel 1500 with the 5.7 liter Hemi. And yeah, I'm paying the price. Literally paying the price with gas. I've never had, most of my vehicles, from the first vehicle I've had, well, the first vehicle I had was a V8, and that was in high school. That was the only V8 I've had since until now. I've had mostly like 4 cylinders and 6-cylinder vehicles. And let me tell you, I mean, when I had my car in high school, I thought it was a lot for gas, but as you could tell, oh, this is also new too, a little beard. I've got some age on me. So when I was in high school, I had my car in high school. Gas was like maybe $1 a gallon or under. I don't know. It was cheap. Well, now you can tell I've got like a 25-gallon tank in here, and this thing sucks gas like there's no tomorrow. So since I've gotten rid of, there's so much to catch up on. Let's rewind back to spring of 2022, this past spring. I came back my last road trip from Northern California. Got to see the beautiful redwoods in Northern California. Just an amazing, amazing time I had there. So I came back, and actually I was going to come across the northern parts of the states, and it was still, like mid to late March, if I can recall. And I thought, well, that's silly. With my van, I wasn't sure, going through mountain passes through, I would probably going through Wyoming, Montana. I just didn't want to chance it. So I ended up going from Northern California, shot back down to Arizona, spent maybe a few more weeks in Arizona, and then made my way back up to Minnesota, probably about early part of April, and been living in a house. So yeah, no van life. In fact, been living in my grandma's house. It's been, until the time I moved in, it was vacant for like a year and a half. She's been in a long-term care facility. She's doing well. Of course, she's, pushing 98. She'll be 98 years young in April of this year. And she's got some difficulties, but she's got her sharp wits about her. My grandma she can be a funny lady sometimes with her wit.
So how is your mother?
Huh?
It's a secret because
she don't tell.
I think it's because she thinks she might get married again.
Well,
so she don't want to know exactly how old
she's open. She's open to that. She said that. So I'm staying at her house, and with that comes all the responsibilities of having a home to take care of. You've got your mowing the lawn in the summertime, spring, summer, and fall, and then now lately it's been shoveling. Plus, I've made a commitment to take care of myself more this year. Even last year, I started working out again. I took a sabbatical just because there was so much going on in the summer. Took a sabbatical. Well, I was doing walking and things like that, but I wasn't really lifting like I had been. So since probably September, I've been consistent with my workouts, at least 4 times a week, which I'm feeling so good and so happy that I'm doing it. So I'm continuing with that. And just part of my strategy is just to do as much normal things that can get my blood going, like shoveling snow, lots of snow. So that's been great for my cardio, because I've kind of cut out the cardio, just been doing mostly weightlifting, with slight cardio in there if I can get on the treadmill. But again, that's changed. Today I actually ran for a half hour on the treadmill. I'm not running outside. It's single digits today. And I did that about, I'd say 2-3 winters ago. I ran outside in January. That was a shocker. But let me tell you this. When spring came and people were out running, I was just killing that. Felt great. I was already in shape, had my legs about me. But this year it's been tough. Having spent the last 2 winters in the southern states, it's hard to kind of make that adjustment to being back here in my home state of Minnesota. A lot of things on the horizon. New job, new position. It's keeping me busy right now. Loving it. Grateful. Very grateful for that. And since then, since I've sold the van or got rid of the van, actually traded in for this thing I'm sitting in here, this beast I'm in right now. I've had actually 2 setups, because when I got rid of the van and traded it in, I was going to just flip the channel on its head and start doing, a truck camper. And I bought a truck camper, brand spanking new, a 2022 Palomino backpack. And it's the SS550, which has the pop-up top. And not knowing anything about truck campers and payload capacity for trucks, I got that thing, and it was like at limit empty. No water, none of my gear, nothing in the truck. I was at limit. And I didn't realize it till I took that thing home, and I'm driving home. It was a white knuckle all the way home. I've actually bought it in Iowa, which is a neighboring state to Minnesota here. As you know, if you know anything about geography, Iowa is under Minnesota. But at any rate, I drove that thing home, and the truck was just yawing and rolling, and when I step on the brakes, you could just feel every little bit of that camper on the back of this truck. I did that for maybe a week or so, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel safe. And I called the dealership and I said, hey, are there any trades or anything you could do? Because I just don't feel comfortable with this. We're at capacity. I don't even have any gear in here yet. And the salesman, of course, he's a salesman. He's going to say, oh, I have no worries that vehicle can handle that. And it's like, yeah, that's your opinion, but I just didn't feel safe. So I probably should have held on to it, but no, in a panic, I thought, I need to get rid of it soon before it starts, as time goes by, things tend to lose their value. It was 2022, so maybe more than a month after I had it, maybe a month and a half or 2 months. Let me backtrack too. Before I even got rid of it, took a trip out to Colorado. And that was in addition to the weight of the camper on this truck, it was the gas mileage that blew me away. I mean, it was like what I thought at the time, 0 to none. I averaged about maybe 10, 11, probably close to 11 miles per gallon on my way out to Colorado. I actually went out to the Overland Expo in Loveland, Colorado this year, 2022. Last year, actually. It's 2023 now. Happy New Year. Went out to Loveland, Colorado, and that round trip, probably with my van, maybe would have been, I don't know, $400, maybe with gas the way it was when I had the van and I was doing all my traveling before gas started to creep up a little bit. That round trip was about $800. So it was probably more than double what I would have done if I would have had the 4-cylinder van that I had without the capacity of a heavy truck camper in the back. So that blew me away too. And I'm like, I got to get rid of this thing. And in a panic, after 2 months of ownership, I traded in, took a huge hit. And that's why I say it was a panic, because it wasn't a good financial decision. I bought a travel trailer. Well, I guess, yeah, it's a trailer. And great deal on it. So it kind of balanced itself out with the trade-in. I didn't get as much as I wanted. I took a huge hit, but yet the camper was the trailer was heavily discounted. So I ended up paying more, but I probably would have paid that much if I paid sticker for that trailer. So I don't know, maybe it was a loss, maybe it wasn't. But I got into the trailer. Since then, I've gone south and I've come back up north, and it's even worse, especially going through mountains. I think I came back from Arizona in December of 2022, and I averaged about 8 miles per gallon. Yeah, 8 miles per gallon. That's 3 miles per gallon less than I did when I had the truck camper on. I thought it'd be better because of the rolling resistance, less resistance with pulling something rather than having something in the truck, but it's actually worse. So yeah, here I sit. I don't know. I'm thinking this is probably going to be the last video that I do on this channel because so many things have changed. I can't. Traveling like I had before is just not sustainable. Now I'm tethered, and I'm at a crossroads in terms of what I'm going to do going forward. I may start a new channel. I don't know yet. I'm just like I say, at a crossroads. And with my new job, I've got some things I need to do as it relates to my job, which is taking some time now too, which is probably the reason I haven't gotten a video out in a while. Let me tell you, I've made, oh my God, countless attempts at starting to make a video, but I couldn't finish it. So, you know, a month would go by and I'm like, okay, that material is dated. So I'd start something new. 2 months would go by, oh, that's dated. So I've got to start all over again. And it was just these starts and stops and starts and stops and trying to make a video. I would sit down to start editing and then I would get distracted or have to do something for work. It's just been a whole fiasco. So yeah, I think I'm just going to hang it up for the channel right now. Who knows, maybe in a few months or so, I may start something different, or who knows, things may change. I may even get a different setup. I don't know. But let me tell you, even though I have quit van life, I long for it. There's nothing like being in a van, having it all in one, because with the trailer, with the camper, I did do some, it wasn't really stealth because you got a camper on the back. It's not really stealth. But I was a little bit more nimble than pulling something. Now, maybe I could do a video in the future of the vice versa of a van, truck camper, or a travel trailer. There are so many differences. And I think for me, the worst is having the trailer because you're limited in terms of where you can park, where you can go. Making my way back up north in the northern parts of the States here to Minnesota, I was limited in what I could do. I mean, I could basically hit truck stops. I could hit Walmart parking lots. So when I say that travel trailer or having a trailer camper is the worst, it's only worse from the standpoint of what I was used to. Having the flexibility that I have that a van gives you is so much more than anything in my experience. Some people have camper trailers that love them. That's okay. I have a guilty pleasure, and that's probably one of the reasons I haven't gotten a video out. I've been going down the YouTube rabbit hole, just looking at it. It started with, okay, I've got a travel trailer now. How can I make this experience better? So that's where it started with me watching a lot of YouTube over the last several months, and it ended up getting out of hand. I finally, within the last couple of days, have gotten a hold of it and said, okay, I got to stop. That's why I'm making this video now. And I plan to try and contain my guilty pleasure of just going down the YouTube rabbit hole, because I wasn't just watching, stuff on campers and travel and things like that. I was watching the silliest stuff on YouTube. And it was just basically taking my life away, because I'm just sitting there, even though, thank God I work out, because if I hadn't been working out, I'd been eating pizza and chips and sitting there watching that, I'd be like 500 pounds. So thank God. But I do like the trailer camper. It's a 16-footer. It's a Forest River. It's a Wolf Pup, but it's labeled, God, what's the label on it? I can't remember the name of it, but it's a Wolf Pup it's a special edition of the Wolf Pup, 14 or 15 footer all together with the hitch to bumper. It's close to 20 feet, like 19.5 or something, like 19 and a half feet. Nice, pretty small when it comes to a trailer camper, but yet not the smallest trailer camper. So it's right in the middle there. Of course, it's not a big giant fifth wheel, which I've been watching those, and it's I'm not ready for one of those, but man, those things are nice. Then I would definitely have to get a bigger truck. I think this truck is big as the way it is now, but I would have to probably get a 1-ton to get, what I've been looking at in terms of the really nice fifth wheels with the big bump outs, king size bed, washer dryer, all that stuff. Of course, I'm not ready for that. Maybe I'll do that when I retire someday. I don't think I'll ever retire, but maybe I'll find a way to have businesses where I don't have to worry about going to a job or having something like that, where I can just travel, continue my travels, and not have to worry about the income coming in to supply the gas that it would take to pull something like that around. But at any rate, if you look at comfort level, I would say the trailer that I have now beats out the sliding camper, the truck camper, beats out the van that I had, of course. As you know, I was living in the smallest cargo van you could live in, the Ford Transit Connect. But this travel trailer now that I have, of course, has a queen size bed. It has a dinette. It has a dry bath. So separate toilet on one end of the hallway and a shower on the other end. And microwave, deep sink, tons of storage, even under the bed. So it's a camper queen. It's not a full queen. I guess I could put a full queen in there, they say, but then I would have to take out, there's like this little headboard, kind of a built-in headboard there. I thought about it, but it's like, it doesn't bother me enough to do that. I guess I'm stuck with it now. For what I've paid for it, it's going to take me a little bit to pay it down. So I'm stuck with it. I'm not going to get, I have to confess, a couple months ago, I was thinking, okay, now should I get rid of this and take a bigger hit? I'm not going to do that. So I'm stuck with it. Now, of course, I'm not going to be traveling like I was before. But there are some places in northern Minnesota, especially like Superior area, Lake Superior, northern Minnesota, around there. Even on the other side, on the Wisconsin side, there's a lot of beauty over there too. One of the things I like to do is kayak. So I don't know if I could do it, but maybe I could get a rack on top of that, put a kayak, or even throw a kayak in the back of the bed. That'd be even better. Throw a kayak in the back of the bed. So now I'm traveling. I've got a boat that I can take with me, where I couldn't do that with my van. So now I could probably get a kayak now and travel. There's just even collapsible kayaks. I don't know if I feel too comfortable with that, but that's something that I can do. So more than likely I'll be doing like campsite camping, which I've done in my van. I do enjoy that, but it can be quite expensive if you stay an extended period of time. I've done campsite camping here and there, a night or two, which is fine. But with a trailer, of course, if I want to stay somewhere longer, I probably have to stay at the campsite longer. So in terms of expense, you've got the gas, you've got staying at a campsite. Those are things that can be very cost prohibitive, but I'm not going to let that stop me from using that camper, especially in the spring, summer, and fall. I did, on the way back, there was some stops I made in the cold. I think the coldest I've stayed in this camper was probably like in the 30s, which is not really that cold. When I was in Arizona, I spent a weekend in Flagstaff. It actually got down to the 20s. So it was pretty chilly. The heater net thing, it keeps you very toasty and warm. I mean, I can hardly keep it above 68, 70, because even though I set the register at 68, 70 when it's in the 20s, it was still warm in there. I mean, so yeah, from a comfort level, I would say I'm happy. It's just a big shock for me to go from camper van to truck camper to trailer. It's just a whole different ball game. And I guess if I think about it, it's neither bad nor good. It's just different. So, but still, like I say, I long for the van life just because there was so much flexibility with that. And then with a smaller vehicle, definitely it helped with gas and being able to travel more. I digress. I ramble on, but I just wanted to let you folks know what's going on in my life, where I'm at. All is well. I'm happy. But like I say, I'm just at a crossroads in terms of what I'm going to do next. And that's why I wanted to just put something out and just let you folks know what's going on. And maybe the channel may not continue. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe a few weeks down the road. I don't know. Let me tell you this. I was talking about winter travel. Like I said, I had maybe a couple experiences where it was cold out. Well, now one thing too is I can't do that because it's buried in snow. So I parked it in my grandmother's driveway, and since all the snow we've gotten, it's pretty much enclosed with icy snow. So for me to get that out, it would take a lot of muscle power to get it out of there. So I'm definitely not doing any camping for the next few months until the snow melts. So you probably won't see a video unless I just do something informational, something like that. I don't know. But for all intents and purposes, this is probably the last video. But it's been great. It's been an awesome experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, if you folks get a chance to do it, if you can make it happen, it's still doable. But you have to consider, your setup. And you have to really consider, is it worth it? Maybe you can't travel like I was doing. Like I crisscrossed the states, several times. And for me, it just wasn't a problem in terms of finances and money at the time, because of course I didn't have any rent. So I wasn't thinking about, the cost of that. My gas that I paid for traveling and, food, things like that, that pretty much covered what I would have been paying for rent. So for me, it just didn't seem like a loss at the time. But like I said, with this vehicle here, it's starting to exceed that. So if you can do it, by all means, you can make it happen. It is possible. With that, folks, I thank you for being a part of the channel. I thank you for your great comments. One of the things I will miss, should I not continue doing what I do, it's just the great encouragement and comments that I get from you in the comments section there, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you folks. It's hard to basically hang it up, but it's kind of where I'm at now. Like I say, I was at a crossroads, but I just feel more like I'm leaning towards the fact that I'm not going to continue on. So with that, love you all. I hope you all are doing well, and peace, and I may see you down the road. Take care.